going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Filmy Thoughts. How are you doing? Hope all is well. I actually went to go see this film I'm about to talk about last week, but with this mad heat wave that's hit the UK, I am not about to film in this heat. So forgive me um, for sending this out a bit late, but health comes first. Anyway, if you haven't already, please subscribe, please like. If you've watched this film, leave a comment. Let's have a discussion on what you thought about this film. Today, I'm going to talk about American Pickle, which is starring Seth Rogen. He actually plays two main characters in this film, which I thought was pretty cool. I thoroughly, actually, that's an exaggeration. I enjoyed the film. My missus, on the other hand, she hated the film. She hated it. So I'm going to explain to you where the differences come from. So the reason why I liked the film was because it was thought-provoking. It really made me think about something that I've never ever thought about before, which we'll get into. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis on the film first, which will help you understand why I like the film. So Seth Rogen, he plays a refugee basically that escapes Europe and makes it to the United States of America, and he and his wife start to lay down foundations in New York. This is in the early 1900s, yeah? As you know, jobs for immigrants are quite hard to come by, but he even in this day and age, so it must have been extremely hard back in the early 1900s. Anyway, he's managed to find a job working in a local pickle factory. There's an incident that happens where he is basically preserved in brine and pickles and cucumbers for 100 years, like preserved perfectly. So he then awakes in today's age, 100 years into the future. Obviously, his wife, his unborn child, they've all perished, and he is devastated at this. However, he does find out that he has family there and is actually a great-grandson. And that great-grandson is played by Seth Rogen. So he plays both of those characters. And it is quite good, actually, because you see both of the characters on screen at the exact same time quite a lot in this film, which obviously from a filming and technical point of view is very hard to pull off. And they pulled it off very well. So kudos to the director and kudos to Seth Rogen for being able to act both characters at the same time. Pretty impressive. Anyway, so yeah, he's 100 years somewhat preserved. Comes back, he meets his great-grandson, and he is upset. Upset at the fact that he left Europe to come to New York to give his family a better life and to create a legacy. He wants them all to, thrive. And he's met his great-grandson and he's doing fuck all, basically. He is just sitting at home creating an app and he's scared to sell it. He hasn't got the courage to go out there and actually make things happen in his life, which is disappointing for his great-great-grandfather. So they end up bickering and getting at it with each other and effectively going to war with each other. The great-grandfather's like, saying, well, I'm going to go make a success. Since I'm here now, I'm going to go do my thing. And the great-grandson is like, all right, go do you. Leave me alone. I don't care who you are, blah, blah, blah. And it gets to the point where the great-grandson is accidentally or mistakenly deported back to this European country that his ancestors effectively come from. Now, this is where I like the film because I started to think, it really started to make me think that I actually don't know what my great-grandparents look like. I have no idea. I never even got to meet my granddad. Any of my granddads, actually. Only my grandmothers are alive, or one of them. And I started to think, right, I wonder what they look like. I wonder what they were doing back then. I wonder what they thought or what they had hoped for their bloodline 100 years into the future. And I wonder if I'm disappointing them. So these were quite deep things I was thinking about as I was watching the film. And then I started thinking, I flipped the coin on the other side and I started thinking, 100 years into the future from now, where will my bloodline be? Will they know me? Will they remember me? Will there be a legacy? So then I started to think about the word legacy, and it's like, you need to be able to leave a legacy so that these people remember you, so that you're not forgotten. So yeah, it got really deep still. I could feel myself getting a bit emotional thinking about it now. So that's why I like the film, because it made me think about something that I have never thought about before. It wasn't just about, usually I go to the cinema to sit down and just relax and enjoy things, whereas this film actually was thought-provoking. So that's why I liked it, and that's why I'm giving it right in the middle, a 3 out of 5. My missus is right. It wasn't a great film. It wasn't fantastic, but the fact that it made me think about something so deep, and actually take that away with me outside of the cinema, I think it deserved a couple more points than I would have given it. For those who don't know who Seth Rogen is, by the way, he also co-wrote and done the voiceover for one of the characters in Sausage Party. Now, if you haven't seen Sausage Party, you have got to watch Sausage Party. It is one of the best adult animated films I've ever watched. Genuinely, like, it's proper deep, proper subliminals in there. It's cold film. So go watch that. But let's get back to An American Pickle. So yeah, one thing that it definitely does though, it brings to light how far we've come as a civilization in 100 years. Even the clothes, the technology, the ideologies, the lot. I mean, the great grandfather, he was saying some real outlandish, and I mean outlandish things. And he was also on Twitter, and on social media and all of these things, just saying all these outlandish things about Christianity, about women, you know, which in 2020 just couldn't run and would not run, and it didn't run in the film, and it really brought that to light. There was quite a few digs in there at Donald Trump as well, which which I thought were quite clever and quite smart. Obviously, old dinosaurs, sorry, my pronunciations there were crazy. Old dinosaurs should not be using social media. And that was the gist of that little segment in that film, basically, which was a shot at Mr. Trump. And I mean, the storyline as well was very basic and very far fetched. I mean, you're not gonna land in water full of salt and pickles and be preserved for 100 years. I just don't think that's possible. It should have done something where that person was frozen, because that's more feasible. But that's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. If you're into politically charged films, then you should definitely watch this one. Again, though, I would say, like in my previous review, if you're not in a rush to get into the cinema, wait it out 10 to 14 more days, because Tenant's coming out, and that is going to be the first big blockbuster to hit the cinema post lockdown. That's it from me. I hope that was short and sweet. I hope you're all blessed, whether it's the morning, the evening, the nighttime, the daytime, or the afternoon. Please stay blessed. Please subscribe. Please like. Please leave a comment if you've seen the film. Take care.